Okay, hey folks. Just want to do a test stream here for Stanley Parable. Let's just see how it is in terms of the sound quality, video quality, and well, just a general outlook on the game really. Should we begin the game?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Good for you, Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions,
Intriguing.
call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so here's the test stream. If you now played the Stanley Parable before, the main hook of this game is the fact the narrator just keeps going on and on about things. For example, he clearly wants me to leave the room now. If I don't, he'll actually say something about it. But let's play along for now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Fine, let's aim for the meeting room. Let's get distracted by everything around me. Oh, 15. Oh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Or maybe I'll go in the door on my right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, why not? Let's get a coffee.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after
Coffee.
all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Cold drinks.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating.
All right, I get the
that
point.
Even but eager to get
Let's
back
move
to
on.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, why not? I will not.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, how'd I get here? Do not jump from the cargo while lift is in motion. Will cause death. £5,000 for dying. Seems a bit excessive.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Whoa.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ooh, intriguing. Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
It's all very mystifying. there's not much in here. Shall we carry on? Whoa. Ah.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
What if I don't pick up the phone? Oh, you know what, let's do it anyway.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Okay.
Do you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point
Hey,
here, Stanley.
it's mean.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Say what? Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Think I'm being insulted. I'm not going to press it. Nope. Nope. Just going to stand and stare at this statue. No, I want to press 1 again. Nothing's happening. Let's just wait. I'm going to give it a few seconds. Have a staring contest. No? Alright, let's press V.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
That's really sad. Press 3 to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Not the TV.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought
the right one.
that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Okay.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing
Oh
is
man,
pushing
we're
the
slowly
same buttons he
transforming back
always
to
has.
the starting.
Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
We are still going to push it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he
We're back to
remains
this
here,
bit.
he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Just looped back to the start.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
Let me out.
Perhaps. Well,
Let me out.
Maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Hey, what?
Stanley
No.
pushed a button.
It's morbid.
And I tried
Let me out.
again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
What? Am I dead? Oh. I guess I am. Huh. There you go, folks. That's a test stream of the Stanley Parable. Just trying to see how this YouTube streaming works. So I'm gonna have to look at the video quality, and we'll just get a general idea to see how it's working really, and to see if I should supplement this with Twitch or if I should just replace Twitch altogether with this. So Stanley Parable is actually a really interesting game, which I'm
knew the
looking.
office layout like the back of his hand.
I'm just letting
It
him
was only
speak
a matter
first.
of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
So yeah, I'm probably going to play through the Stanley Parable one of these days. I still got Human Resource Machine to go through, but for some reason I can't get it to stream on my OBS. And there's also Undertale, which I'm really looking forward to play through. Trying to avoid all the spoilers that I can before I do that. And after all that's done, I'll probably come back to the Stanley Parable. But anyway, that's the end of the streaming experiment. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably have another video up in a day or so.